Spain's squad simply looks insane. Lamine Yamal.
Nice curl! Oh, I say, what an unbelievable goal! The 16-year-old!
Mikel Oyarzabal.
Cucurella gets it back in! Oyarzabal scores for Spain!
Nico Williams. Sure, Spain looked a bit Sunday League-like in the disappointing exits over the last 3 World Cups, but dynasties come in cycles, and with a new generation of exciting players driving a resurgence since 2022, it feels like Spain may be on the brink of yet another era of dominance. So what makes this Spain side so exciting? And why, compared to their previous teams, do they look so well placed to win the World Cup this time? For such a powerhouse in world football, Spain have amazingly won just 3 of their 11 World Cup matches since that famous Iniesta winner in the 2010 final. Bro, that's a win rate of just 27%. Back in 2014, they entered the tournament as defending champions, but were eliminated in the group stage, getting cooked 5-1 against the Netherlands, losing to Chile 2-0 before securing a consolation victory against Australia in their final game. 4 years later, Spain fell short once again, getting knocked out by host nation Russia in the last 16 after limping through the group stage with just a win and 2 draws. Their struggles were further compounded by the turmoil following Julen Lopetegui's reckless decision to accept the Real Madrid job for the 2018-19 season without informing the Spanish FA, leaving them with little choice but to sack him just days before the tournament began. In the most recent edition in Qatar, Spain kicked off with a stunning 7-0 thrashing of Costa Rica, but then drew against Germany and suffered defeat to Japan. After barely scraping through to the knockouts, they were put out of their misery by Morocco in the last 16, losing on penalties after missing all 3 attempts against a goalkeeper who looked like he had a personal vendetta against them. In short, the events of 2014 marked the end of a glorious era. Circumstances in 2018 made success nearly impossible, and by 2022 it was clear that the squad had outgrown its previous talent and lacked the superstar players to propel them forward. However, as the 2026 World Cup fast approaches, there's a prevailing sense that Spain's fortunes will be different this time, and it's hard to argue against it. Let's not forget that they are the reigning European champions, having dominated their opposition from start to finish in Germany 2 years ago. They won 6 of their 7 matches inside normal time, disposed of the hosts in extra time, and overperformed everyone in nearly every attacking metric. Including those games at Euro 2024, Spain are now unbeaten in their last 31 competitive games excluding penalty shootouts, surpassing the famous 30-match streak they enjoyed under Vicente del Bosque between 2010 and 2013, a run that saw them win both the World Cup and the Euros. They also reached the UEFA Nations League final against Portugal last year, taking the lead twice only to be pegged back twice before ultimately losing on penalties. As things stand, they have been the most dominant team on the international stage over the past 3 years. By the way, if you're enjoying the video so far, we'd be incredibly grateful if you subscribed. Your support helps us grow and continue creating the content you love. Spain's status as favourites isn't a mystery, but the secret to their consistency lies in the evolution of their playing style over the past decade. Central to their unprecedented dominance at the turn of 2010 was their possession-heavy style. Tiki-taka, as it became known, has its roots in the revolutionary Catalan football pioneered by Johan Cruyff's Barcelona in the early 1990s, but tiki-taka's most successful modern proponent was Pep Guardiola. During the same period as Spain's incredible international success, Pep's Barca were demolishing the club game, sweeping an astonishing 14 of the 19 trophies available to them between 2008 and 2012. After their Euro 2008 triumph under Luis Aragonés, Spain's tiki-taka became more refined under his successor, Vicente del Bosque. In his lineups, Del Bosque spammed ball-playing midfielders as much as possible, including fielding the iconic Barca trio of Sergio Busquets, Andrés Iniesta and Xavi, as well as Xabi Alonso of Real Madrid and David Silva of Manchester City. However, as this golden generation neared retirement, La Roja's fanatic devotion to possession-first football began to yield mixed results. As early as the 2014 World Cup, Del Bosque himself recognised the need for a more direct style, evident in his decision to call up the rampaging Diego Costa as his starting forward for the tournament. Every coach between then and 2022, including Lopetegui, Fernando Hierro, Luis Enrique and Robert Moreno, has discussed modernising the team. Yet, each iteration has primarily fallen back on a possession-heavy approach, but as Spain's tiki-taka dominance reached its zenith, opponents began to counter it, quite literally, with effective low blocks and fast breaks, leading to some of the worst embarrassments in the country's football history. Against Russia in 2018, for instance, Hierro's Spain side had a staggering 79% possession and took 23 shots, yet scored just once before being eliminated on penalties. Then, against Morocco in 2022, Enrique's side recorded 77% possession and completed over 1,000 passes, but laughably mustered just one shot on target over 120 minutes, losing once again in the ensuing shootout. Warning signs were evident in their previous two matches too, where they posted a combined expected goals total of just 1.49 against Germany and Japan, despite averaging 75% possession. For stretches, it felt as though Spain were holding possession for the sake of it, with their lack of penetration resulting in disappointing early World Cup exits, though these setbacks would ultimately serve as the perfect catalyst for change. The shift away from possession-first football began with De La Fuente's appointment as the head coach following the 2022 World Cup. But his journey to transforming the national team hasn't been entirely smooth. In the early stages of his tenure, he struggled to establish a clear identity and cycled through nearly 50 players in his first 10 matches. A damaging defeat to Scotland in his second game in charge also added to the pressure from the get-go. The manager eventually weathered those storms, and as his reign progressed, he gradually settled on a core group of players and a pragmatic style, which was on full display at Euro 2024. By then, tiki-taka's on-field architects had all retired from international football, allowing De La Fuente to be more open to giving the next generation time to settle in. In fact, the average age of Spain's starting 11 during this year's World Cup qualifiers was just 26 years and 137 days old, making it the 10th youngest of the 54 UEFA nations and younger than all the other European teams considered contenders this summer. The need to adjust the tactical approach to maximise the profiles of some of these youngsters has also been a hallmark of his tenure. The best examples are the wingers Nico Williams and, more notably, Yamal, the ridiculously talented cheat code of a teenager and one of the best dribblers around. To make the most of their pace and directness, De La Fuente has allowed them the freedom to break ranks and take on defenders, a departure from previous Spain teams where wide players often drifted centrally to help circulate possession. It seems De La Fuente has found a middle ground where they continue to control the ball, especially against weaker opponents, but now play more direct overall. Drawing from their tournament experience and impressive run of form, Spain are well positioned to claim ultimate glory once again. But it is their astounding depth of talent that truly bolsters their chances. Their strength lies in midfield, where their options there alone are astonishing. At the base they have Pedri, Rodri and Martin Zubimendi, arguably three of the top 5 deep-lying midfielders in the world. Mikel Merino, Fabian Ruiz and Dani Olmo provide additional creativity further up the pitch. Perhaps the biggest doubt about the Spain squad heading into the tournament is their lack of a pure number 9. Samu Ogehawa could potentially address this in time, but is only 21 and played just 73 minutes during the qualifiers. Teams like France and England, by contrast, have clear options for leading their lines. For Spain, however, they'll turn to Ferran Torres or more likely Oyarzabal, who, while not a traditional striker, has taken on that role for the national team, logging the most minutes of any Spanish attacker during qualifiers and justifying his place ever since scoring the goal that secured the Euro title 2 years ago. But if Spain's strength is in midfield, the real tipping point lies in the players on the wings, as either side of Oyarzabal are two of some of the best dribblers in the world. And that's before we even get to one of the most versatile players in the game today in Merino, whose crucial headed goal against Germany propelled Spain through their trickiest match at the Euros, assuming we're overlooking Cucurella's blatant handball that the ref somehow missed. With that said, the World Cup is always a unique challenge, and Spain's journey through Group H will be far from straightforward, as their opponents bring various strengths and competitive identities. Saudi Arabia have demonstrated in recent tournaments, most notably with their shocking victory over Argentina in 2022, that they can unsettle even the most elite teams with their structure, intensity and vertical attacking style. Cape Verde, while not one of Africa's traditional powerhouses, has emerged as a highly competitive side, boasting a strong physical presence, discipline and a growing confidence that embodies the underdog spirit. Lastly, Uruguay, renowned for their competitive fire, tactical discipline and emotional intensity, will likely pose the toughest challenge in the group. This match could be pivotal for both qualification and the battle for first place, and is the kind of early heavyweight duel that will test whether a team is truly ready to contend for the title once again. If you enjoyed this video, like and subscribe for more content like this. Also, don't forget to hit the notifications bell so you never miss a beat. And with that, we'll see you in the next video.